There's a voice inside you, one that tells you what you're capable of, but also one that warns you of the things you'll never achieve. It's that voice that has kept you safe, kept you stuck in what feels comfortable, but also kept you from truly becoming who you're meant to be. You've lived with this voice for so long, letting it shape your thoughts, actions, and decisions, and yet it's not the voice of your potential, it's the voice of your fears. But what if that could change? What if right now you could unlock a version of yourself that's stronger, smarter, and more determined than the one who's been holding back? What if you could condition yourself for success, not tomorrow, but today? Watch this video till the end and discover the life-changing lessons that will take you from doubt to unshakable confidence. There's a voice inside your head that's louder than all the others. It's the voice that tells you you're not enough. It's the voice that whispers you'll never make it. Every time you step out, every time you try to move forward, it's there, waiting, lurking, telling you to play it small, to stay safe. It convinces you that you're not capable, that you're not worthy of success. It feeds you lies that keep you stuck in the same place, paralyzed by the belief that you'll never be more than what you are right now. I know that voice all too well, and I know how exhausting it is to hear it, day in and day out. The constant battle between what you know you want to do and the nagging fear that tells you you're not cut out for it. It's a war within yourself, and every time you listen to that voice, you lose a little more of your belief in who you are, in what you could achieve. But here's the cold, hard truth. That voice isn't your truth. It's a lie. Self-doubt doesn't define who you are. It's just a habit, a pattern you've learned to live with over the years. And it's not something that's there to protect you. It's there to keep you small, to keep you playing it safe. It convinces you that you're not worthy of what you desire. And in doing so, it holds you back from living the life you were meant to live. What if I told you that you have the power to break free from this cycle? What if I told you that the very thing that's been holding you back, your self-doubt, is the thing you can use to propel you forward? Because here's the thing, self-doubt is not an obstacle. It's a signal. It's the sign that you're on the edge of growth. It's the moment before breakthrough, the place where you have a choice. Stay where you are or push through the fear and step into the person you're meant to become. So, let's take a hard look at this self-doubt. Let's look it in the face, see it for what it is, and start to tear it down piece by piece. The first step is to acknowledge the doubt. You can't fight something you're pretending doesn't exist. You can't break free from something you're still hiding from. So stop pretending like that voice isn't there. It's okay that you're hearing it. What's not okay is letting it control your life. That voice isn't a reflection of your truth. It's the product of old beliefs, old fears, old patterns that have been ingrained in you over time. And the first step to breaking free is realizing that you've been living according to someone else's idea of who you are. Ask yourself, where did these doubts come from? Who told you that you weren't enough? Who made you believe that your dreams were out of reach? The answer is probably not you. These beliefs were handed to you by others, by the world, by past experiences, by failures that weren't your fault. And somehow along the way, you internalized them, you believed them, you accepted them as your truth. But it's not your truth, not anymore. Once you identify the source of the doubt, it's time to challenge it. And this is where the power lies. Because when you start questioning those doubts, when you start looking at them critically, you'll begin to see that they don't hold water. Ask yourself, why am I not capable? What makes me think I don't deserve success? The answer is often rooted in fear, not fact. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being judged. But fear is not a valid reason to hold yourself back. Fear is just an emotion. It doesn't control you unless you let it. This is the key. You have the power to reframe those thoughts. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, replace it with, I'm capable of learning and growing. Every time you think, I'm not good enough, replace it with, I am worthy of success. It's not about denying your doubts. It's about confronting them and choosing a new narrative. The more you do this, the more that new narrative will become your reality. You see, the biggest thing that holds you back is not your ability, it's the belief that you can't. That belief is a lie, and it's up to you to break it. Now, I know this isn't easy. I know that self-doubt can feel like a constant companion, like something you can't shake. But what if I told you that you're more capable than you give yourself credit for? What if I told you that every time you've doubted yourself and still pushed through, you've already proven that you have the strength to succeed? Every time you've tried, even when you felt like you weren't good enough, you've been building resilience. Every single time you've gotten back up after falling, you've been conditioning yourself for greatness. And that's where the transformation happens. When you stop allowing doubt to dictate your actions and start believing that you can succeed, that's when everything changes. Belief is the fuel that powers action. When you believe in your ability, you take risks. You step outside your comfort zone. You go after what you want, not because you're confident in the outcome, but because you trust that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. This isn't about having an unshakable belief in yourself from day one. This is about building belief, step by step, action by action. The more you take steps toward your goals, even when you're scared, the more you prove to yourself that you're capable. And with each step, that self-doubt begins to fade, replaced by a quiet, powerful confidence that comes from knowing you've done the work, you've faced the fear, and you've kept going anyway. So here's the truth you need to hear today. You are enough. You are worthy of the success you want. You are capable of achieving your dreams. The only thing standing in your way is the doubt you've allowed to define you. And you have the power to change that. You have the power to break the chains that have kept you stuck. All it takes is the decision to face those doubts, challenge them, and replace them with a belief in your own strength. The moment you do that, the moment you stop listening to the voice that tells you you're not enough, is the moment everything changes. And once you make that shift, there's nothing that can stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. You're standing at the edge, staring at the journey ahead. It feels like the road is long and the destination is far. You dream of success. You imagine the breakthrough, but when you look at how far you have to go, the weight of it all can feel suffocating. The distance between where you are and where you want to be seems vast. And in those moments, it's easy to wonder if all the effort, all the sacrifice will ever be worth it. I get it. You've been waiting for that one moment, that big breakthrough, that moment when everything clicks and suddenly everything you've worked for falls into place. You think, once I get that one big opportunity, then I'll finally make it. But what if I told you that success doesn't work like that? What if the breakthrough you're waiting for isn't coming because it's not meant to come in one giant leap? What if success is built not in a flash, but in the small, consistent actions you take every single day? It's not about waiting for the moment when everything aligns perfectly. It's about showing up every day, even when it feels like nothing is moving. It's about the choices you make, the habits you form, the things you do when no one is watching. Success isn't just a big event. It's a series of small, disciplined actions stacked up over time, day after day, week after week. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you started something only to get discouraged when you didn't see immediate results? You put in the effort, you work hard, but the progress doesn't come as quickly as you want it to. So you stop. You tell yourself it's not worth it, or you convince yourself that it's just not happening. And yet what you don't realize is that the breakthrough isn't always as obvious as we think. The work you're putting in today might not show results tomorrow or next week, but it's still building the foundation for everything to come. Here's the reality. Consistency is what separates those who achieve success from those who give up. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about getting up every day and doing the work, even when it feels like nothing is changing. The key to success isn't about finding the perfect plan. It's about sticking with it, no matter how uncertain or slow the progress feels. When you commit to consistency, you build momentum. Even when it feels like the road is long, every single step forward, no matter how small, counts. You don't have to take giant leaps every day. Some days it might feel like you're only moving an inch forward, but over time, those inches add up. Day after day, they compound. And before you know it, you look back and realize how far you've come. The truth is, it's the small, disciplined actions you take consistently that create the momentum to push you forward. It's the things you do when you feel like quitting, The moments you decide to keep going even though the finish line seems too far away. You might not see the results right away, but you are building something powerful. Every small step, every ounce of discipline is adding to the bigger picture of your success. Let's talk about discipline for a moment. Discipline isn't about making perfect choices every time. It's about having the strength to keep going, even when it's hard. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up for yourself, even on the days when you're tired, when it feels like the effort isn't paying off, when the world around you seems to move faster than you can keep up. But that's exactly where your strength lies when you keep moving forward. Despite the doubt, despite the frustration, despite the fear, this is the shift you need to make. Stop waiting for the breakthrough. Start trusting the process. Success isn't waiting for some magical moment. It's made in the moments you choose to work, even when no one's watching. It's in the small decisions you make to keep moving forward when you feel like quitting. It's in the daily grind that builds the foundation of the life you want. Here's what you might not realize. The effort you put in today will shape tomorrow. You might not see the changes immediately, but everything you do compounds. Your habits, those small, consistent actions, are the driving force behind everything you're working toward. The reason some people seem to achieve their dreams with ease is that they've been stacking up consistency day by day, and before they knew it, everything they worked for clicked into place. But this isn't just about the work. It's about trusting that work. It's about believing that the process is worth it, even when the outcome isn't immediate. Success isn't about instant results. It's about understanding that the journey is part of the process, that the grind, the routine, the consistency, it's all part of what's going to get you to where you want to be. So what do you do when the road seems long, when the results don't come fast enough? You commit. You keep showing up. You trust the process. And you remind yourself that success isn't just the result. It's the consistency that gets you there. Because here's the truth. If you keep going, if you stay consistent, it's only a matter of time before the results catch up with the effort. This is the breakthrough you need to embrace. Success doesn't require perfection. It requires perseverance. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It matters that you keep going. And when you realize that, when you truly embrace the power of consistency, that's when the floodgates of progress will open. The journey becomes the destination. And every step you take becomes one step closer to the success you've been working toward all along. So, don't wait for the big moment. Don't wait for everything to align perfectly. Show up today. Do the work today. Let consistency be your ally. And watch as the momentum builds and your success unfolds, one small step at a time. You've been there, haven't you? Staring at the pieces of something you thought would work out, only to find it's broken, scattered, not what you expected. Maybe it was a project that fell flat, a dream that didn't come to life, or a decision that led you down a path you wish you never took. You feel the sting, the disappointment, the frustration, and that voice inside your head. It's there again, louder than ever, telling you, see, I told you, you're not good enough. You failed. I get it. Failure has a way of hitting us right where it hurts. It makes us question our abilities, our worth, our purpose. It's easy to think of failure as a sign that we're not meant for success, that we're destined to fall short, that we don't have what it takes. It's easy to believe that failure is the end of the road. But what if I told you that failure is not the end? What if failure is the very thing that's going to help you succeed? You see, failure isn't the enemy. It's never been the enemy. The truth is, failure is a part of growth. It's part of the process. You can't have success without it. Every single person who's ever achieved something meaningful has failed. Every single one. The difference between them and you is not that they never failed. It's that they didn't let failure stop them. They embraced it. They used it. They learned from it. I know it's hard. I know how easy it is to get discouraged, to feel like giving up, to let the weight of your failures define you. But here's the thing, failure doesn't define you. It's just a part of the story. The story isn't written when things go well. It's written when things go wrong. and you get back up anyway. When you fail, there's a choice you have to make. You can either let failure break you down, make you shrink, make you hide from the world. Or you can choose to rise, to face what went wrong, to learn and to keep moving forward. Every failure carries with it the seed of growth. Every time you fail, you gain something. Something that you can't get from success alone. You gain insight. You gain resilience. You gain experience. You start to see things differently, think differently, approach the world with a new understanding. Think about the last time you failed. What did it teach you? Did you learn something about yourself, about your strengths, about what you needed to improve? Failure is the world's way of teaching you lessons that you can't learn from success. It's the only way you learn what doesn't work, so you can discover what does. But here's the secret. The lesson isn't in the failure itself. It's in how you choose to respond to it. When you embrace failure, you stop fearing it. You start seeing it as a tool, something that sharpens you, something that makes you stronger. The reason you've been avoiding failure is because you've been seeing it as something personal, something that diminishes you. But failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's just a part of the process. When you fail, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're learning what you're capable of. It's because you're trying something new, stepping into uncharted territory, and that's where the magic happens. Failure is what gives you the courage to keep going. It's what keeps you humble, keeps you grounded, keeps you hungry for more. Every time you face failure, you face a choice. Will you let it break you, or will you use it as fuel to push forward? Will you allow it to become a wall, or will you climb over it, learn from it, and keep moving toward the life you want? What if the very thing you've been afraid of, the failure, the disappointment, could be the fuel that propels you forward? What if every setback was just a setup for something greater? What if every time you stumbled, you could stand up taller, with more wisdom, more strength, and more determination than before? That's the shift you need to make. Stop fearing failure. Start embracing it. Instead of seeing failure as a roadblock, see it as a stepping stone. Instead of letting it stop you, let it guide you. The more you fail, the closer you get to success. And the more you fail, the more resilient you become. Failure isn't a sign to quit. It's a sign that you're moving, that you're growing, that you're on the right track. So the next time you fail, don't shrink away from it. Don't let it define you. Look it in the eye and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is this teaching me? Use it as a springboard, not a trap. Use it to fuel your drive, to increase your hunger, to push yourself further than you thought possible. And here's the breakthrough. When you start to embrace failure as fuel, something incredible happens. You stop worrying about what could go wrong. You stop fearing the fall because you know that every fall is just another chance to rise higher. You stop seeing failure as the end of your journey and start seeing it as a new beginning. You stop doubting yourself and you start trusting in your ability to learn, adapt, and rise. Failure doesn't have to break you. It doesn't have to keep you stuck. It can be the very thing that sets you free. It can be the turning point that changes everything. Because once you realize that failure is just a part of the process, that it's not a reflection of who you are, but rather a part of who you're becoming, that's when everything shifts. So go ahead. Fail. And when you do, stand up. Brush yourself off and use it as the fuel that takes you one step closer to your success. Because failure, when embraced, is the secret ingredient to achieving everything you've ever wanted. You stand in front of the mirror, looking at yourself, but something inside you is unsure. You see your reflection, but the image feels distant, almost like you're staring at someone else. You know you want more from life. You know you've got something to offer, but there's a part of you that holds back. You tell yourself that maybe you're just not good enough, that maybe this dream you have is too big for someone like you. And so you shrink back, you hesitate, and you wonder if it's all worth trying again. You've heard it before, haven't you? That voice that whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not cut out for this. The world around you seems to agree, or at least that's how it feels. You look around, and it's easy to see all the reasons why you shouldn't believe in yourself. You've faced rejection, disappointment, maybe even ridicule. You've been told no, you've been told to wait your turn, and maybe you've started to believe that your dreams are just too far out of reach. But let me ask you something. What if I told you that the one thing standing between you and your success is not the lack of resources, not the opinions of others, and not the circumstances you find yourself in? What if the one thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted is the belief you have in yourself? You see, believing in yourself is not something that comes naturally for everyone. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's not a passive state. Self-belief is an active choice, a decision you make every single day. And that's what makes it so powerful. When you choose to believe in yourself despite all the evidence to the contrary, you unlock something inside of you that the world can't touch. I know it's hard to believe in yourself when the world doesn't seem to believe in you. I know it's hard when you've been told that you're not good enough or when you've failed time and time again. But that's exactly why you have to choose belief. Because if you don't actively decide that you're worthy, that you're capable, that you are more than enough, then who else will? I want you to think about the times you've doubted yourself, the moments when you've second-guessed your worth, when you've hesitated to take action because you weren't sure if you were good enough. Maybe you were waiting for someone else to tell you that you could do it, that you were worthy of success. But the truth is, you have to be the one to tell yourself that. Belief doesn't come from the outside. It doesn't come from someone else's approval. It comes from within. It's the quiet but powerful decision to trust yourself, to trust your abilities, and to trust that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle that comes your way. The world will never stop questioning your worth. People will always have something to say, whether it's positive or negative. They will tell you what you can or cannot do. They will try to put limits on you based on their own insecurities, fears, and experiences. But you don't have to accept their version of who you are. Their beliefs are not your truth. Your truth is that you are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. You spent so much time looking outside yourself for validation, waiting for someone else to tell you that you can do it, that you're good enough. But the truth is, the only person you need validation from is yourself. Because when you truly believe in yourself, when you cultivate that deep, unshakable belief, nothing on the outside can shake it. You become unstoppable. But how do you build that belief when everything around you seems to say otherwise? The key is not in waiting for everything to line up perfectly, or for the world to give you permission. The key is in the small, everyday actions that reinforce your belief in yourself. It's about showing up every day, even when you're scared, even when you doubt yourself. It's about trusting that you have what it takes to face whatever comes your way. And when you take that step, when you take that action, despite your fear, despite the doubt, you start to prove to yourself that you are capable. You start to build the confidence you need, one step at a time. Start small. Start with the little things. Take one step towards your goal today. Even if it's just a small step, do it. Do it for yourself. Every time you take action, you send a message to your subconscious that says, I am capable. The more steps you take, the stronger that message becomes. The more you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way, the more your belief in yourself grows. I know it's not easy. I know that there are days when the doubts feel overwhelming, when the world feels heavy, and when you wonder if you're even on the right path. But remember this, self-belief is a practice. It's something you build every day. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And eventually you'll look back and realize that you don't need anyone else's approval to move forward. You've already got everything you need inside of you. And when that happens, when you realize that you don't need external validation to believe in yourself, you will understand the true power of self-belief. You will know deep in your soul that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of achieving your dreams, and that nothing, not failure, not doubt, not anyone else can stand in your way. Self-belief is the foundation of everything you want. It's the catalyst for change, the spark that ignites the fire within you. It's not something that comes easily, but it's something that you can cultivate every single day. And when you make that choice, when you choose to believe in yourself, you will unlock a version of you that is unstoppable. Because when you believe in yourself, there is nothing you can't do. Nothing. You wake up in the morning, ready to take on the day. But then it starts. The distractions, the messages, the notifications, the thoughts that pull you in 100 different directions. You want to focus. You want to work towards your goals, to make progress. But every time you try to concentrate, something else demands your attention. It's like a constant noise buzzing in your ear, pulling you away from what really matters. It feels impossible to get into the flow, to carve out the time and space for your dreams. And before you know it, the day is gone, the momentum lost, and you're left feeling frustrated, like you've wasted another opportunity. You know the path to success isn't easy, but you also know that what's even harder than the work itself is the constant fight for your focus. You've tried everything: time management apps, to-do lists, setting priorities, and yet the noise still creeps in, making it hard to stay on track. You're not alone in this struggle. The world is filled with distractions. It's loud, it's overwhelming, and it's easy to let it pull you away from what you truly want. But let me tell you something. The ability to focus, to truly concentrate on the things that matter, is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. And it's a skill. It's not something that you either have or don't have. It's something you can cultivate, something you can sharpen, something you can master piece by piece. Focus isn't just about blocking out the distractions. It's about choosing every single day to invest your energy where it will have the greatest impact. I know it feels hard right now. The distractions are real. Life is busy. You have responsibilities, commitments, and a world full of things demanding your time and attention. But here's the hard truth. The distractions aren't going anywhere. They will always be there, pulling at you, trying to take you off course. The question is, how long are you going to let them control you? How long are you going to let the noise drown out your focus, your purpose, your dream? Right now, there is a part of you that knows what you need to do. You know what matters. You know what you want to achieve. But the problem isn't the lack of desire. It's the lack of clarity. It's the lack of focus. And once you realize that, once you understand that the most powerful tool at your disposal is your ability to zero in on what matters, everything begins to change. Focus isn't about fighting the distractions. It's about choosing to be in control of where your attention goes. It's about setting boundaries, mental, emotional, and physical, that protect your energy and keep you on the path. It's about eliminating the noise, not by ignoring the world around you, but by deciding that your goals, your dreams, your purpose are more important than anything else. You can start today. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect environment, or the perfect conditions. You can start with small changes. It starts by identifying what truly matters to you, what you want to achieve, and why it matters. Once you know that, once you've connected with the deep reason behind your goals, everything else becomes clear. The distractions start to lose their power. Because when you know your why, you can filter out the things that don't align with it. You stop wasting your time on things that won't help you grow. You stop letting the noise drown out your vision. Focus is a muscle. And like any muscle, it gets stronger with practice. The more you make the decision to focus on what matters, the more that focus becomes a habit, a natural part of your daily life. It's not something that just happens. It's something you choose. You choose it when you decide to block out the noise, when you turn off your phone, when you set boundaries with people who don't respect your time. You choose it when you commit to working towards your goals, no matter how small the steps may seem. Every time you make the choice to focus, to eliminate distractions, to zero in on the task at hand, you build momentum. It's not about achieving everything at once. It's about taking consistent, focused action day after day. And over time, that momentum adds up. You start to see the progress. You start to feel the power of your own focus. This is the shift you need to make. Focus is not a passive thing. It's an active choice. It's about saying no to the things that pull you off course. It's about saying no to the distractions that try to steal your time and energy. It's about committing to the process, no matter how slow it seems, and trusting that your consistent focus will eventually lead you to where you want to go. But there will be moments when the distractions are loud. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when the noise seems too overwhelming to handle. But that's when you dig in. That's when you make the choice, once again, to prioritize your goals, to remind yourself why it matters, and to stay focused on the bigger picture. Because in those moments when everything around you is pulling you in 100 different directions, your ability to stay focused is what will set you apart. The breakthrough comes when you realize that focus is your power. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter, with intention, with purpose. It's about using your energy in the places that matter most. And once you embrace that, once you make focus your priority, you will see a shift in your life. The distractions will still be there, but they won't have the same power over you. You will learn to tune them out, to protect your energy, and to keep moving toward your goals no matter what. And when you get there, when you start achieving what you've been working for, when you see the results of your consistent focus, you'll realize that the noise, the distractions, the doubts, none of it mattered. What mattered was your commitment to focusing on what truly mattered to you. And that is what will take you to places you never thought possible. Focus, once mastered, becomes the driving force of your success. Every day, you wake up and face the same battle. You look at yourself in the mirror, and what do you see? You see someone who is tired, frustrated, maybe even defeated. You've put in the work, but the results aren't there yet. And deep down, there's that voice, that harsh, critical voice that tells you, you're not enough, you're failing. Why even bother trying anymore? It's loud, isn't it? And it's familiar. That voice doesn't go away, no matter how hard you try to drown it out. It tells you that you're not making progress fast enough, that you're not doing enough, that you're not worthy of the success you're chasing. It's exhausting, feeling like you're constantly fighting against yourself. You know you want more, you know you're capable of more, but that voice keeps pushing you down, and it's hard to rise up against it. What if I told you that the biggest thing standing in the way of your success isn't the lack of effort or the absence of opportunities, but the way you speak to yourself? What if I told you that the real power lies in how you choose to treat yourself, even in the face of failure, uncertainty, and doubt? The truth is, the way you talk to yourself matters more than you realize. And that critical, harsh inner voice, that's not doing you any favors. It's not helping you get where you want to be. It's holding you back. Every time you tell yourself you're not enough, every time you beat yourself up for not seeing results, every time you criticize yourself for not being perfect, you're not just affecting your mood in the moment. You're reinforcing the belief that you're not worthy of success, that you're not capable of greatness. It's time to break that cycle. It's time to silence that voice and replace it with something stronger, something more empowering. It's time to speak to yourself with the same love, kindness, and encouragement you would give to someone you care about deeply. Because here's the thing, you are your own biggest supporter, or you are your own worst enemy. And if you keep letting that inner critic take over, if you keep feeding yourself negativity and doubt, you'll continue to struggle, continue to feel stuck. But if you choose to speak to yourself with love and encouragement, you'll unlock a power within you that can drive you through even the hardest days. This is the art of positive reinforcement. The practice of speaking to yourself, not just when you're doing well, but especially when you're struggling, when you're failing, when you feel like nothing is working. It's about shifting your mindset from one of self-criticism to one of self-love. I know this isn't easy. It's hard to be kind to yourself when you feel like you've fallen short, when you feel like you haven't done enough. But this is where the transformation begins. You have to start reframing that inner dialogue. When you hear that voice telling you you're not good enough, you can choose to replace it with I am enough. When you hear you're failing, replace it with I am learning and growing every day. When you hear why bother trying, replace it with I am proud of the effort I'm putting in, and I trust that the results will come in time. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a shift in how you view yourself and your journey. It's a decision to treat yourself with the respect, the kindness, and the love you deserve, even when things don't go according to plan. Because you deserve that love, especially when things are tough. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. What matters is that you keep moving forward and that you treat yourself with the encouragement and support you need to keep going. Think about the people you love the most. You encourage them. You lift them up. You remind them of their worth when they can't see it for themselves. You're there for them when they struggle, when they fail, when they doubt. Why don't you deserve that same level of care from yourself? This is the turning point. The moment you choose to become your own biggest fan. To treat yourself with the same love and compassion you'd give to anyone else. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't push forward when you're constantly tearing yourself down. So start filling that cup with kindness, with encouragement, with self-love. Start reinforcing your worth, your effort, your ability, not based on results, but on the fact that you are trying, that you are showing up for yourself, day after day. And yes, there will be days when the doubts creep in. There will be times when the results aren't there yet, when the frustration is overwhelming, when that critical voice tries to come back. But in those moments, that's when you need your own love the most. That's when you need to remind yourself, I am doing my best. I am worthy of success, and I trust the process. The more you speak to yourself in this way, the more you train your mind to focus on what's going well, on what you're learning, on what you're building, even when you don't see immediate results. The breakthrough comes when you realize that your worth isn't tied to your results. Your worth is inherent. It's in the effort you put in the courage you have to keep going, in the resilience you show when things don't go according to plan. When you choose to love yourself through the process, when you choose to encourage yourself even in the hard moments, you start to change the entire trajectory of your journey. The more you reinforce that belief in yourself, the more you build the foundation of success. It doesn't come from perfection, and it doesn't come from waiting until everything is just right. It comes from the daily practice of showing up, of doing your best, and of loving yourself through every step of the way. So when that inner critic speaks up, when the doubt tries to take hold, you can silence it. You can remind yourself of who you are, of your strength, your worth, and your potential. And you can move forward with a heart full of love and belief in yourself, knowing that the more you nurture that belief, the closer you get to your goals. Your success starts with how you treat yourself, with how you speak to yourself, with how much you believe in your own power. And once you realize that, once you make self-love the driving force behind your actions, nothing will be able to stop you. Nothing. You've been working hard, haven't you? Day after day, pushing forward with everything you've got. You've put in the hours, made the sacrifices, and given it your all. And yet, nothing. At least, nothing that feels like enough. You watch others around you seem to make progress faster, achieve their goals quicker, while you're left wondering why it's taking so long. Why doesn't your breakthrough come when you want it? Why does it feel like you're doing everything right, yet still stuck in place? I get it. I really do. You feel like time is slipping away, like the clock is ticking faster than you can keep up. The world tells you that success should be quick, that results should come immediately. And when they don't, you start questioning yourself. Is it worth it? Is this path really meant for me? How much longer do I have to wait before everything falls into place? But here's the truth you need to hear right now. Great things take time. The road to success is never a straight line, never instant, never immediate. And while it's hard to hear, it's also the key to finding peace in the process. Patience is not the enemy of success. It's the vehicle that gets you there. Think about it. The most powerful things in life don't happen overnight. Think about the way a tree grows, slowly, carefully, deeply, before it ever reaches the sky. The earth, the seasons, the elements, all must align before that tree can even start to rise above the ground. But once it does, once it reaches its full potential, it stands tall, strong, and rooted. And its growth, though gradual, is worth every moment of waiting. The same is true for you. The success you're chasing, the dreams you're pursuing, they don't happen in a single burst of effort. They take time. They take persistence. They take the quiet, patient work that others might not see. But it's in that quiet work, In those moments where you don't see the results right away, that you're building the foundation for something truly great. I know it's frustrating. The world tells you to rush, to move faster, to achieve more. But when you rush, when you push yourself to the point of exhaustion, just to see results, you risk missing the most important part of success. The journey. The journey is what teaches you. It's what builds your character, your resilience, and your wisdom. If everything happened as quickly as we wanted it to, we never developed the depth, the strength, or the understanding needed to sustain success when we finally reach it. But patience isn't just about waiting. It's about trusting the process. It's about knowing deep down that the work you're doing right now is shaping your future. You may not see the results today. You may not see them tomorrow. But every effort you put in is one step closer to the person you're becoming. Every time you show up, every time you keep going, even when it feels like nothing is happening, you're making progress. You're building something that will stand the test of time. I know it's hard to keep faith when things don't move as fast as you want. I know how easy it is to become discouraged, to question whether your efforts are worth it. But this is the moment where you need to remember something powerful. Patience is a practice, not a passive state. It's not just about sitting and waiting for something to happen. It's about continuing to show up with belief, even when the outcomes aren't visible. It's about choosing to trust that every day you're making progress, even if it's not immediately clear. Every step you take, no matter how small it seems, is a part of your growth. And you may not feel it now, but with each step, you are changing. You are learning. You are evolving. Every moment of doubt, every setback, every slow day is teaching you something. It's shaping you into someone who can handle the success you're striving for. Because success is not just about reaching the destination. It's about who you become along the way. Patience allows you to stay grounded. It keeps you focused on the process, not just the end result. You stop chasing the external markers of success and start valuing the internal transformation that's happening every day. You learn to enjoy the journey, to appreciate the work, to find meaning in every moment, no matter how small. This is where the shift happens. This is where you stop feeling like time is working against you, and instead you start to see it as your ally. You understand that you are in the process of becoming something greater, and that takes time. No one is born successful. No one is born with all the answers. Every person who has ever achieved anything significant has done so by showing up, by being patient with themselves, and by trusting that they would get there in their own time. When you embrace patience, you stop worrying about how long it's taking. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop rushing through life. And you start to enjoy it. You start to savor the little victories, the days when you made progress, even when it felt slow. You realize that success isn't a race. It's a journey, and your pace is perfect. And that's when the real breakthrough happens. The moment you release the pressure to be fast, to be perfect, to be ahead of everyone else. The moment you stop chasing the illusion of instant success and start trusting the process. The moment you embrace the fact that you're not behind. You're right where you need to be. Patience isn't about waiting. It's about living with faith in the process, trusting that what you're building today will pay off tomorrow. And when you finally look back, when you finally reach that place you've been working towards, you'll see that the journey was never meant to be rushed. It was meant to be experienced, to shape you into someone who is capable of truly appreciating the success that will come. So be patient. Trust the process. Keep going, even when it feels slow. Because in the end, you'll realize that all those moments of waiting, of hard work, of persistence, they were worth every second. And when you get to where you're going, you'll be grateful for the time it took, for the lessons learned, and for the strength you gained along the way.